It is often supposed, particularly by those who have never been in danger of having two marriage proposals at once, that such a situation must be exceedingly pleasant. Miss Marianne Everleigh would be the first to disagree. For though she had received two most ardent declarations, each sincere in its wording and accompanied by the requisite trembling hands and glances to the floor, her heart was divided, and her peace entirely ruined. Mr. Philip Strathmore was the obvious choice. His smile was spoken of in ballrooms, his coat fit so finely it was practically a scandal. He rode fast horses, spoke in charming riddles, and had a way of brushing a stray curl from her forehead that made her question whether breathing was still required. Yet there was a shadow in his charm. He disappeared often, offering vague excuses involving business and urgent affairs. There were whispers, half-glimpsed conversations, and a note he had not meant for her to see, one signed by a woman she had never heard of. The other man, Mr. Edward Halbrook, was steady, kind, perhaps less striking at first glance, but with a voice that quieted the soul. He read poetry without mockery. He remembered the names of her aunt's cats. And, though this may seem a small thing, he never once stepped on her hem during a dance. It was after Mr. Strathmore had invited her on a private carriage ride that all her confusion began to settle. No. He was late, of course. He smelled of some lady's perfume, though he blamed an enthusiastic florist. When she, gathering all her courage, asked plainly where he had been and who he had been with, his smile vanished. "You are inquisitive," he said coldly. Almost like a wife already. She felt ill. Moments later, with nothing but a thin apology and a sneer, he stopped the carriage at a desolate country lane and left her there. Marianne stood alone, mist curling around her boots, the sky a purple bruise overhead. And then it began to storm. The rain came sudden and sharp, like the reprimand of a disapproving governess. Thunder cracked above. The road turned to sludge. She walked, faster and faster, until she thought she heard footsteps behind her, then closer, sloshing, crunching, breath. Her heart pounded. She turned, but the path was empty. She walked faster. The sound returned, nearer, too near. Then a hand seized her ankle. She screamed, tripping in the mud and falling hard. Panic seized her. She kicked wildly, unable to see who or what had caught her. And then, like a night in a serialized novel, a rider burst through the trees, the wind pulling at his coat, his eyes blazing with terror and purpose. It was Edward. He leapt from the horse and charged at the shadow. Whoever it was fled into the woods, vanishing as quickly as they'd come. "Marianne!" he called, lifting her from the mud with trembling arms. "You found me," she gasped, clinging to his chest. "You! How did you know?" "I saw Strathmore ride away alone. Something in me knew." The rain poured down, but she did not feel it. "He left me," she sobbed. "He was cruel, dishonest, and he left me." Edward pulled her closer. "You are safe now." She looked into his eyes, saw not only affection, but fear for her safety. And then she knew. "I accept your proposal," she whispered. "You do?" "I do not need time to consider. You were there when I most needed someone. That is all I ever required." They married in a small chapel 3 weeks later, with only family and a few close friends, and no storm clouds whatsoever. Strathmore was never seen in their county again, though some say he was later found to be embroiled in a scandal involving false identities, gambling debts, and a baron's wife. Marianne and Edward lived the rest of their days with a quiet joy, a large library, and an extra dog for protection, just in case. And never again did she walk home alone.